Closing the frickin' rift.
Oh, no, they chose him. Let them die. We'll close it from the bunker before it gets to a city I care about.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald.
Hi. So today's video, we're going to be talking about superhero cinema. Really, um, I'm a big fan of comics, anime, and I've just been a bit, I won't say worried, but I've been a bit. I found that the superhero movie landscape is getting more and more unpredictable, but not in a good way. So, kind of today's video is just basically gonna talk. I wanna answer one major question, which is the MCU falling off? And then we're gonna discuss the DCU reboot with James Gunn, and then I'll give a review of Fantastic Four. I'll give a review of Superman. That's the two movies from those two studios that came out this year, and just kind of give my thoughts on, like I said, superhero cinema in 2025. So yeah, so grab your popcorns, grab your Infinity Gauntlets if you have one, grab your mother boxes, because today is the long awaited video. So you guys are gonna get a quick music break, and yeah, we'll be back.
From the bunker before it gets to a city I care about.
I herald his beginning. I herald.
Okay, so let's start with Marvel, right? Because after Endgame, Marvel had the same problems. We had all finished watching a 10-season Netflix binge. What now? So we had just gone through like phase 4, which had like, I think if I remember right, they tried, I think phase 4 was very experimental for them. They wanted to see what they could push out there. And before I go on, or maybe I'll mention it later, but I remember now, so I'm gonna say it now. I think my biggest problem with Marvel was they felt after Endgame, their stories would only make sense if it were all connected. And I think that that has been the biggest thing holding Marvel back. So for example, what do I mean, right? I don't think the Eternals needed to be connected to the rest of the MCU. Just show us a cool timeline, introduce Blade. You can bring him in later on, sure, but like we really just want to see a cool timeline. Like I wish they leaned into the what if. There's this series they have on Disney Plus, What If, and I really like that series because it meant they could tell stories without it necessarily having to be locked in to like this secret timeline. Everything has to make sense. I don't know. Like for example, now in phase 4, they tried everything. We had Shang-Chi, good movie. Eternals, I think should have been a good movie because the lady who directed it, I know that lady. I watch her work. I watch her stuff. I think that if that movie was a standalone movie, they gave her the breath to actually do what she wanted to do, I think it would have been an amazing movie. Then we have Doctor Strange 2. Again, because you're trying to do this whole multiverse thing, it didn't need to be. Like, I don't know, it just felt like it didn't need to be for me. Just make the story simple, right? Like, and part of the reason why I didn't like that movie, like it's a good movie, but part of the criticisms I had was, why show us that Wanda is this suffering, multifaceted person in the WandaVision TV show, and then come into this movie and she's like this bad guy with like very shady reasonings. Like you could have easily just dream walked into the, or you could have moved to a universe where the one your Wanda just died. So meaning like you literally would just have come in and take the place of a Wanda that was dead. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like there were so many ways you could have gone about that it just felt silly to me. And for someone who was shown to have gone through all that trauma and suffering to still be willing to inflict that much trauma and suffering on others, it just, I don't know. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. Um and of course you had Spider-Man No Way Home. I love Spider-Man No Way Home. I love Spider-Man No Way Home. I think my problem with Spider-Man No Way Home was that, and it's my problem with Spider-Mans in general, right? I think Spider-Man as a character is meant to be. I'm trying to synchronize with this reasoning, but I think the writers try to write him to be this character that is so good, like he's good to a fault, because the decisions he made in Spider-Man No Way Home, I think they were kind of dumb. They they felt to me like decisions a character will make because a movie needs to happen. Because okay, the whole movie happens because, not because the spell has already gone wrong, no, but because Peter feels like it's his responsibility to try and save people who in their universes are already dead. Like Lizard is dead. Doc Ock in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2, he's dead. Um Electro, what happened to Electro? Yes, I think Electro dies. Yeah, Electro dies at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2, the one that Andrew Garfield and Gwen dies. Yeah. Who else? Sandman. Sandman, well, he didn't die. I don't think he died in that Spider-Man 3 movie. So that was fine. Who else? Who else? A Goblin. Goblin literally killed himself. Everybody remembers the first Spider-Man Tobey Maguire movie where like he tries to use the glider to stab Spider-Man, but Spidey senses kicked in and then he dodges the stuff and then it stabs him in the stomach. Like, so my question was like, what exactly are you trying to save? Like, do you think you're such a good, you're like the most goodest superhero on the planet that you're gonna prevent people from meeting the fate that they were already meant to meet? Like, what exactly, how exactly were you going to save them? You don't want them to get sent back to their universes and die. Nigga, that's literally what was supposed to happen. Like, what? Okay, and then on top of that, you did all of that, and then look at the damage that you caused, right? Just look at the damage you caused throughout the city because you wasted time sending these people who needed to be back in their universe back to their universe simply because you felt it was the right thing to do. I don't know. It's a problem I've had with Spider-Man characters from the get-go. In Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I didn't like how he was very. He felt like to a point he just liked depriving himself from like the good things of life, and then um what am I saying? And then Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, I don't like how they handled the relationship with his villains. Like they were all one note villains, and he would somehow still have like I don't even know. I don't know. You know? And like, oh yeah, I made a promise to Gwen's dad, so like I have to stick to my promise. Broski, he's dead. He's dead. She's your girl. your Spider-Man. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say, but that's to the wayside. But Phase 4 basically did some pretty decent numbers, is what I'm trying to say. Then we got into Phase 5, right? And Phase 4 was 2021, 2022. Phase 5 was like 2023 up to this year. So Phase 5 felt very like if it was a true like mixed bag, because you had like Guardians Volume 3, amazing, James Gunn always kills it. Deadpool and Wolverine, I think it was the most Deadpool and Wolverine. Like when I watched Deadpool 1 and I watched Deadpool 2 and then I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and then I'm like, yeah, it makes sense that Marvel got this character and made this movie. It just makes too much sense. Like it makes too much sense. It was a no-brainer. It was gonna be a hit. Everybody loves Deadpool. Everybody loves Wolverine. That's a banger. And then you mix in the timeline stuff from the Loki TV show, one of the best TV shows they've released in this whole saga, even better. So, so apparently, Disney CEO Bob Iger pretty much, I think after that, started focusing on, and you know, he with Kevin Feige in charge, Disney itself tends not to interfere much with Marvel. But I think after that bomb, they kind of gave him a mandate like, broski, you're going to cut back, you're going to focus more on quality. And yeah, and the first movie we're seeing from that is the Fantastic Four First Steps, which is apparently supposed to be the start of Phase 6. So I guess we're gonna see. I mean, I have seen, but you get what I'm trying to say. So I think that's it. I'm this new two new Avengers movies that are coming up, which is Doomsday next year, and Secret was the year after that. It was 2027, so 2026, 2027. Sorry, I think I think if they do not take their time, because Doctor Doom is supposed to be the main antagonist for these two Avengers movies, I think if they do not take their time to release a good Doctor Doom focused content or series of content, they are gonna miss it again. And if they miss it with Doctor Doom, a character as legendary as he is, this is a guy that has Reed Richards level intellect. He uses tech like Tony Stark. He uses magic like Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, and he's just a great hater. Like, I'm talking, what's that thing that Rap So Petty always says? In one of that, there was this video he dropped. He's like, Madara was like,
Man, look, back in my day, I was one of Satan's greatest soldiers, you hear me? Just felt penance in this stir. Used to hate on a nigga, slide on him, pack his ass up and send him to God, bro. Make a nigga mama cry and go back to hate on the next nigga.
that's Doctor Doom in his summary. He's just a hater. He hates Reed, like with his destiny. So like, I just hope they don't mess him up. I really hope they don't mess him up. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I think superhero fatigue is definitely real. I think MCU after Endgame has definitely contributed to that. I think the DCU's general lack of quality movies has also contributed to that. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on. So we'll do the next chapter now. We're just gonna talk about. I just gave you a brief on the MCU, so we're gonna do a brief on the DCU, and then we'll go into the reviews after that.
Bunker before it gets to a city I care about.
I herald his beginning. I herald.
So this chapter is gonna be about DCU, and James Gunn, Gunn is my boy. I've always liked James Gunn's work actually, and they say one man's meat is another man's poison. All I can say is I'm happy DCU got James Gunn. Like, look at the new Superman movie. That's like the most colorful movie I had watched in a while. Everything just had that extra pop to it, and I think that's nice. But that's one of the main reasons I like the Snyderverse. Maybe it wasn't always so realistic, but it was grim. It was dark. Batman will mash you up. Superman is gonna aura farm. Doesn't give a fuck if you're standing on a roof or if you're burning in the doing a Senate hearing. He doesn't care. He's gonna aura farm. That's what he does. But we're not here to talk about the Snyderverse. Warner Bros. Has Thanos snapped that out of existence. We're here to talk about James Gunn's new universe. So, James Gunn, with his producer friend Peter Safran, in 2022, Warner Brothers gave them the key. So, and Gunn's gonna do his thing, and he's a comic nerd, which I think is also essential when you're at places like this. So far, he's laid out a 8 to 10 year plan, which he called the Gods and Monsters, which I love because that's always how DC Comics has felt. It feels like as a human, you're living in a world with literal gods. I mean, Diana is a demigoddess or a semi-goddess.
It was good to walk among a pantheon again.
How do you mean?
Hades, Apollo, Hermes, Hephaestus, Zeus, each a god in their own right.
And me?
I have never met anyone like you, Superman. God or mortal.
So he dropped that. I think he also did Elseworlds. He released the Elseworlds stuff. So he said there's gonna be some movies that they will make because they feel there are some good stories to tell, but they are not necessarily trying to merge them into the Gods and Monsters storyline. So they will be under the Elseworlds moniker. So I think the Batman, the one that released with Robert Pattinson, yes, is gonna be part of the Elseworlds. So the Batman, that one, and the sequel that's coming out next year, they are gonna be part of the Elseworlds. But yeah, so that's pretty much the plan now. So the Superman is out. Um, I think Supergirl is coming out next year. I like the girl they chose, Millie Alcock. I love that girl. She's cute. She was in I think she was in Game of Thrones. So I mean, there's been the little spots here and there, people wondering how he was gonna make Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad fit into it, because apparently he said so. But I think they'll sort all of that out. I think they'll sort all of that out. So I'm not really. Yeah, there's also the Man of Tomorrow movie coming out in 2027. So yeah, I think they are doing a really good job over there. Now, does it still mean superhero fatigue won't affect them? Oh, it definitely will. But I think because he's bringing something so new and so fresh, even more new and more fresh than what Marvel is doing, I think they are gonna make it work. If they can also pace themselves right. You know what I really wished? I really wished they didn't reboot and start right away. But it's fine. As long as they pace it right, don't overfeed people. Let them get hungry a little bit. I think they'll make it work. Superman was a good movie. So we'll go on to the next two chapters now. So I'm gonna do these back to back.
Are you the protectors of this world?
Yes, we are.
Your planet is now marked for death.
So This is going to be the third chapter. We are going to discuss the Fantastic Four First Steps review. I think it was a very good movie. It dropped in July. It was really good. Like, it was way better, especially after we got Fan Four Stick. Fox mashed up that franchise. After Fan Four Stick, I didn't have faith, but they did a good job. The casting, Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I have some criticism about Reed. I think they try to make Reed's powers too realistic. So which means we didn't get as much stretchy goodness. But like Reed's power is the one power I don't think you need to be bothered about realism. He's a stretchy guy. Just make him stretch. But everything else he killed it. Vanessa Kirby, that's another one of my as Sue Storm she was amazing. Clearly the heart of the Fantastic Four, which we didn't get to see in Fan Four Stick. We didn't get to see it in the original, like the first two Fantastic Fours. That's the first one, and then the Rise of the Silver Surfer. We didn't get to see that. So here we got to see Sue Storm actually be the glue for the team. Joseph Quinn as Johnny. I liked him. But I think I would have loved if they brought in a bit more Chris Evans into the role, because I liked his portrayal in the Rise of Silver Surfer and the one before that. So, but I think they did a really good job with him too. And Ben Grimm, Eben Mosbachrak. I also like Ben Grimm. To be honest with you, he's the first Ben Grimm that I saw that didn't make me cringe. The one from the Rise of Silver Surfer, I just hated I didn't like the costume, the fact that they wanted to go like practical. And then the one from the Fan Four Stick, he was pretty much non-existent throughout the entire movie. Like, if you actually cut Ben Grimm out of that, that's the thing, out of that movie, Fan Four Stick, it would have changed nothing. It would have still been a shitty movie. Just now, a shitty movie called Fan Four Stick without Ben Grimm. That's what it would have been. So sorry I'm shitting on them so hard, but Fantastic was bad. But yeah, back to what I was saying. It was a really good movie. The chemistry worked. Superhero family with a baby on the way, like, and Silver Surfer. Damn. It's the chick from Ozark. I can't remember her name now, but she's also in this new movie, Weapons. You guys should go check that out too. She did a great job. The movie so far has made about just over half a billion worldwide. Finally, I love the retro. Like, it was this retro vibe, but like somehow believable. Like, I didn't see. Okay, maybe there were one or two things, but I didn't see one thing in the movie, and I was like, okay, that will not exist. But yeah, I liked it, and it was also bright, like the James Gunn Superman movie. Super bright colors, nice score. It was a good movie. Got good ratings on Rotten Tomatoes as well. So we'll go now to the review of Superman, okay?
Give me the authority to kill you. If not today, then tomorrow.
Now let's fly over to DC, and we'll just do a quick review of Superman. I think everybody has watched it by now. I love the new Superman. Now, do I think he's the most Superman looking actor they've used? Hell no. I think Henry Cavill is the most Superman looking actor ever, followed by the guy that got injured in the horse accident, Christopher Reeves, I think that's his name, and then this guy, David Consworth. I think he's the so on that list. Cavill is first, Reeves is second, Consworth is third. But I think he did a really good job. Like one thing I really liked about his portrayal was that you could tell he had his countenance changed when he was Superman, had a different voice, even down to his voice, because you could tell for him it was about making sure anybody that experienced his presence left feeling happier, left feeling better, left feeling hopeful. So he had a brighter appearance about him when he was Superman, but when he was Clark Kent, he had a deeper voice. Like you could hear like this is his normal voice. But like when he's Superman, he's like, "Oh hi, nice to meet you. I'm Superman." So like I like that about him. I like Rachel Brosnahan as Lois. Apparently, there's been a bit of scandal there, but I don't believe online rumors. Um, but they had the perfect match. They had the one thing Superman from the Snyderverse didn't have, which was chemistry with Lois Lane. The Cavill and Amy Adams didn't have chemistry. Like they just didn't have chemistry. It wasn't believable. Like it just felt like there were two really good actors playing the role of people who should be in a relationship. Rachel and David, they felt like they were in a relationship. Like from the scene where they were arguing in the house when he was after he made her breakfast for dinner, to when she went to go meet the Justice Gang to save Superman, to after when she took him to go see his parents after he came out of the tunnel. So many things. Like it felt nice. Like when they finally had their big kiss at the end. I'm I'm so sorry I didn't say spoiler alert, but I would have probably put this at the beginning of the video. But when they had the big kiss at the end, it felt believable. It felt like, oh, I shouldn't be here right now. Like it felt like you were watching two people in a relationship actually kiss, and like you probably should give them some privacy. But like with Amy Adams and Cavill, I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna pause for a bit, and I think they just took the power. 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys. Power got cut out. So I'm just gonna wrap this up. So, like I was saying, they didn't bother about the origin story. They pretty much, it's not about trusting. They knew everyone and their grandma knows about Superman. We don't need to tell you he came from Krypton and landed on a farm in Kansas and blah blah blah. Go and watch Smallville if you want all of that. This is a story about Superman. I think his second year has been Superman, or third year, sorry, has been Superman. And yeah, this is like it's also similar to what they did with the Batman, right? The Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. It's his second year of being a hero, and at the end of the movie, he realizes he still wants to be a hero, but he needs to go about it in a different way. He needs to inspire hope in people, not just fear. So that's pretty much. I just really liked it. Nicholas Holt as Lex. Now I do still have one criticism about Lex. I don't think they've gotten Lex right yet, and this might just be my opinion. I don't think they've gotten Lex right yet. Jesse Heisenberg wasn't playing Lex, and Nick Holt was a closer version because he was clearly very intelligent. But Lex, the Lex I know from Justice League animation, from Young Justice. Lex is a calm, calculated, cold mofo. I'm talking that like warning, warning, warning. That's not the. I don't know. I don't relate to that. When it comes to Lex, I don't relate to that. Lex is not. Lex is not even the kind of guy that will have that kind of system. Like Lex would have just like programmed some ultra smart thing. I don't know how to put it, but he, and even that speech at the end of the movie where he was like going on, he's raising his voice. Lex almost all the time has his hands in his pocket or behind his back, and he speaks calmly, he speaks clearly, he speaks like he knows he has the control of the attention in the room. Like, to me, Lex is a calm guy.
You have everything humans desire: wealth, power. Yet you crave more, and you'll do anything to get it. Why? What is your ultimate purpose?
What you're really asking is, what is yours?
But he's calm, like don't let his meekness deceive you, because he's calm, yes, but he's also cunning and he's hyper intelligent. There's a reason why, as a human, he's still a formidable foe for someone like Superman. So, and again, I don't think they've gotten Lex right yet. And that's the only character in the whole movie I wasn't really a fan of. I think the engineer chick, I think she was good. I think the clone being Ultraman, I think that was a good idea. And if they do it right, maybe that could end up becoming Bizarro Superman. Um, Jimmy, I wish Jimmy got more screen time. That's another thing I want to say about this movie. They didn't focus enough on Clark Kent. But then I guess there are more movies down the line. They didn't focus enough on Clark Kent. I think you need to show us the Clark Kent. I need to see him interact with Jimmy. Jimmy is his best friend. I need to see him interact with the guy that is the director of the newspaper. Um, I can't remember his name now, but yeah, the boss man guy. I need to see him. I need to see him. I need to see Louis interact with Kat. That's another character too in this movie that, if they literally cut her out of the movie, would not have changed anything. Yeah, sorry guys. So this is Nigeria. Sometimes you get two technical issues back to back. First, my phone died. Then they took the power. Then my phone died again. But I'm gonna wrap up now with the Superman stuff. And like I said, I think the Superman movie was just good. It was a good movie. My brother liked it more than the Man of Steel. My sister liked it more than Man of Steel. I still low-key prefer Man of Steel, but like it's not that, like, if Man of Steel is like a 70 over 100, this movie is like a close 67, 68 over 100 for me. But then that's also just now. I've watched Man of Steel like 2 million times, so I've been able to get all the intricate details from the movie. So I think over the years, as I watch this more and I pick out those details, I'll probably like it a lot more too. So yeah.
From the bunker before it gets to a city I care about.
I herald his beginning. I herald.
So we're gonna just go down to, because I want to do like a bit of a MCU versus DCU situation. So that's what we're gonna do now in this next chapter. It's not gonna be a long one. And so we're just getting right into the chapter. So, and I really just wanted to ask, right? So where are we right now? That's really the question I wrote down, because Marvel is pushing towards Secret War with the Multiverse Saga. They've had some wobbles, yes. They've had some wobbles, yes. But the Fantastic Four, for me, Fantastic Four was a good showing that their head is in the right place. And DC just launched Gunn's universe. I think if they can give Gunn have the patience they give Zack Snyder, they will come to see that he's the best thing for their universe. So to give a bit of a sports analogy, it's like you're watching a season pro, which is Marvel, who is kind of like on a losing streak right now. But DC, technically in the movie world, has been the scrappy underdog, has brought in the coach that believes in buying players not based on hype, but using computer analytical data to get the right players. And we, the fans, are like, may the best winner win, because the reality is, if this is releasing good movies, Marvel is releasing good movies, there's just more food to eat as a fan. So I'm cool either ways. So that's kind of really what I want to talk about this video. Like I said, it's nothing too complicated, nothing too brainy. Go watch the movies or don't. They'll be fine. Um, I'm really hoping they give Doctor Doom some time to ruminate, and I think Marvel needs to look into getting a Elseworld type situation. Maybe have a what if universe and make that be a thing where, because I think if they had that, movies like Blade would have gotten released by now. So they need to sort that out. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up this episode. But let me know what you think in the comments. Like, which cinematic universe do you prefer? Are you a MCU guy? Are you a DCU guy? Do you think superhero fatigue is just a thing people are saying? Do you actually think it's real? Just yeah, let me know your thoughts. Have a chat in the comments. As usual, be nice to your fellow commenters, and whether you enjoyed the breakdown or not, subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
New videos uploaded every week. So subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoy the journey.